As most of you know, for the past 6 years, I have been operating a staffing agency called Cornbread Hustle. I know, funny name. It is a staffing agency for second chances, meaning we help people in recovery or people coming out of prison find meaningful employment. Now, you don't have to go out and commit a crime just to be able to get a job with us, but we do specialize in helping those who need a second chance. With that being said, we work with a lot of companies who need to fill positions in warehouse environments. These environments can be really hot. A lot of the times it can be a lot of grunt work. I mean, it's a warehouse, so it's not a glamorous office job. And so turnover rates tend to be pretty high in these warehouse environments. And I just wanted to discuss some of the things that I've seen over the last several years of different companies I've worked with. I've worked with companies, large and small, billion-dollar companies, different industries, everything from plastics to HVAC to materials to shipping. I've pretty much got experience in a lot of different industries as it relates to the warehouse environments. So the number one thing that I have seen in these environments and it's well-meaning HR professionals trying to create a positive workplace culture. But I have to tell you, I'm so sorry, but incentive bonuses and cookouts are not going to do the trick. So what does that mean? Like you can throw a cookout once a month and spend thousands of dollars, because it costs a lot to feed a warehouse of hundreds to thousands of people, right? You can spend a whole bunch of money and still feel unappreciated and wonder, why don't these people appreciate what I'm doing for them? You can increase everybody's pay. You can come in and say, we love what you're doing for this company. We're amazed by you. We want to give you a raise. And a couple of weeks will go by and people are still leaving and people are still not showing up to work on time. So what I have seen in terms of the common denominator of these warehouse environments just not getting it together in terms of getting toxicity moved out of the workplace and creating a more positive workplace environment where people actually stick around. So I will tell you, our turnover rate, our weekly turnover rate, is just under 20% across the board, which if you're in this business or if you're in staffing or if you have a demographic of entry-level warehouse workers, you know that is like super low. But we are able to look across the board at all of our different clients and see where some of those turnover rates are actually lower and what's working and what's not. So for instance, we have a client that pays just $16 to $17 an hour, and it's really hard work. It's not climate controlled, and their turnover rate is lower than a client we have that pays over $20 an hour in the same type of workplace environment. So what's the difference, or what's the common denominator of these workplace environments with high turnover? And I will tell you, it is because employees can tell if leadership cares or not. Now, I'm not being accusatory and saying that your leadership may not care. I can't say that. You may care. You may just not understand how to really show it or how to express it. So just a couple of tips on, if I were to come in to a warehouse environment and I were to give just an hour assessment, a few of the tips that I would give is, number one, if you are an HR professional and you have your own office and you never ever go out into the warehouse, that's bad. That's not good. And I don't even mean putting on your steel-toed boots and a vest even just once a week. I know it's really hard. I know you're probably going to shake your head at me with this because people are busy, but the great warehouse environments that I see, the HR person is going out onto the floor every single day, talking with the supervisors and talking with the production workers, just saying, hey, is there anything you need? I have an open door policy, just showing the care, showing that you care for them. So then when you have the cookout, they feel appreciated. They feel like, wow, this is a great place to work for, and they're cooking out for us. But if you never show that the leadership actually cares about the worker, they're going to be like, okay, is this all we're going to get is a couple of hot dogs? And that's where the entitlement and unappreciation comes from, which may boggle your mind, but in their mind, they feel like they're working at a low pay, they're sweating, they're tired, and they don't feel cared for. So that's number one. Number two, your supervisors, the people who have been promoted to supervisor, lead, team lead, trainers, those are the people who need the empathy training. Those are the people who need the leadership training. At some of our workplace environments where we see a major gap, it's the leadership team that's in the office with the AC that's getting invested in and getting all of this leadership training and all of this HR training and more self-improvement courses, when it's really the supervisors, the team leads, the trainers who have just gone from being in production to now they're in charge of helping people grow into a better version of themselves, not only professionally, but personally. We spend more than 40 hours a week in the workplace. So it doesn't even make sense to leave your personal stuff at home. I believe that where the magic happens is the one-on-one. So whenever we see a workplace environment that has the supervisors engaged with training and leadership is working with the supervisors and not just stopping there. Leadership is not only talking with supervisors, but they're talking with the production workers as well. Now we're a full-blown team. Now everybody understands their place in that business and they feel like they're all moving forward together instead of feeling segregated and feeling set apart or not cared for. Communication is everything, you guys. Like, there's so many times that we see somebody quits all because something wasn't communicated to them and they got their feelings hurt. Look, we're human. We are human beings. We have feelings. Sometimes we lead with fear. Sometimes we lead with insecurities. Sometimes we lead with ego or pride. I'm guilty of doing that sometimes. And I see the videos already at 7:47. I only have 10 minutes to get all of this out, so sorry for talking so fast. But one last tip that I have is when your supervisors are in the empathy training, having HR and leadership in there with them and having those one-on-one discussions, like the actual leader, the HR leader, right, speaking with the supervisor, and then the supervisor also having their one-on-ones with the people that are underneath them. Guys, these one-on-ones need to happen a lot. I've gone to the gym and worked out with some of our temp employees that work at other workplace environments, and I know things about some of our workplace environments that sometimes the supervisors don't even know, or sometimes the leadership doesn't even know. So what some of our really, really great clients allow us to do is kind of a undercover boss type thing, where we actually have one of our employees, our in-house recruiters, go in and talk with all of the temp employees and understand the things that are helping them, the things that aren't helping them, anything that they see. Keep their eyes and ears open. And so we don't do this in order to snitch on anybody. We don't do this because we want to get anyone fired. We never want that. We just want to remove toxicity from the workplace to make it a better work environment for everyone involved and to help us do our job. Because if we're working with a client and we're sending really great people and those people keep coming back to us and saying like, I can't work here, it's horrible, then we're just spinning our wheels too, and it's not worth our time either. So to rehash everything before this 10 minutes is up, cookouts, cupcakes, and incentive bonuses don't work. It has to be in addition to showing that you care. One-on-ones and undercover boss in a healthy way, not in a tattletale way. So I hope these tips helped you. And I gotta go. It's almost 10 minutes. Bye.